Universe, Temple of Knowledge. 22 years ago, human civilization gave a start to the 21st century. With all the events that the human race would have never imagined that were going to happen. Events prophesied in the Bible by Nostradamus, the Mayans, Edgar Cayce, Benjamin Solari Paravinci, and Baba Ganga, etc. Starts the new century with the first event prophesied by Benjamin Solari Paravinci, the fall of the Twin Towers. The prophecy says, quotation mark, delivery of North America will lost its light. Its torch will no longer bright as yesterday, and the monument will be attacked twice. Quotation mark, year 1939. September 11. The world terrorized watches on TV as the Twin Towers are being attacked with planes. Planes that were taken before by Al Qaeda terrorists. The citizens of the world were covered by fear and distress, and they asked themselves, how is going to react the United States of America? Hours later, the Twin Towers collapsed before the eyes of thousands of citizens of the world. In the distance, the passerby present observed the events with deep sadness, as the monument most loved by Americans turned to ashes, leaving a total of 3,000 deaths. In that day is unleashed over the terrestrial mankind a diabolical plan, planned thoroughly by the hidden government of the world, the wise men of Zion, confirmed by the most powerful elites of the earth, millionaires, politicians, religious leaders, military, and scientists. Even though it sounds unbelievable, it is just because a great number of humans are asleep, plunged in ignorance, programmed to not see even though they have eyes, programmed to not hear even though they can. Many negative extraterrestrial races, the Archons, Greys, Draconians, Reptilians, etc. Those are the ones who support this plan to dominate the human race. They want to enslave by dominating their minds, their psyche, and their emotions. That's how they submerge the society of this beautiful planet to the extreme vanity, to the extreme materialism, to the extreme egocentrism, to the loss of values by not having respect for others, hating without control, looking for vengeance, discriminating by the skin tone, for thinking different, pointing out, accusing, judging our similars, without any modesty, mistreating and raping children. The respect for the elder got lost. In what kind of race we've turned into? We've poisoned the air, the rivers, the lakes, the seas, the earth that gave us what we need to live. There's no respect for anything or anyone. The love, goodness, faith, and justice. They left the mental heart of men from this world because of their evil. Like the great Jesus said in Matthew 24:12, quotation mark, because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold, quotation mark, and time and space start to be perceived. Days, weeks, months, and years start to go faster than the years of the past century. It was said by the great Jesus in Matthew 24:22, quotation mark, if those days had not been cut short, no one would survive. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened, quotation mark. In our wonderful planet, there's thousands of humans with that potentiality of righteous. They live and feel the Father in their heart. They love life. They look to be better every day. They synchronize with the brilliant light of love found in all of those wonderful things in our planet. Those humans radiate an aura of light around their body. They're mutants by excellence. They glow in the inside, and exist in our world. Every day there is new resurrected in this new planetarian conscience to live and serve with love, peace, and justice. In our new aquarium era, the Earth is an spheric living being with planetarian mind logo that start its changing process in company with the angels, the angel of water, the angel of air, the angel of earth, and the angel of fire. Those powerful planetarian forces are the one in charge to accompany the evolution of the planet in equilibrium and get to a good point with the human race that lives in its terrestrial sphere. But unfortunately, this civilization didn't make it. They didn't took with responsibility the warnings given by the prophets sent by the grand cosmic hierarchy in charge of ensure the growth, transformation, and evolution of the planets and races that exist in this galaxy. The first 10 years of the 21st century kept moving forward, and the four elements, with their accompanying angels, make their appearance slowly. The earth starts to move in several countries, making them feel its power, leaving havoc and death before they shake off that many negative energy that oppresses it. December 26, 2004, Indonesia, Asian Southwest. When thousands of tourists were celebrating Christmas, a massive earthquake with a magnitude of 9.3 in the Richter scale, with an equivalent force of 27 atomic bombs, shakes 9 countries with a duration of 8 minutes, destroying everything and taking lives. 2 hours later appears the element water, with all its power, a gigantic tsunami with waves of 25 to 30 meters high, sweeping everything in its way on the shores of 9 countries. Some of them are Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and Thailand, leaving at least 236,000 people dead. The scientists say that the terrestrial axis moved 8 grades. The Mother Earth starts to feel the birth rift of a new boreal race. The element Earth keeps manifesting in other spots in the planet with destructive force, leaving great bleakness, earthquakes with magnitudes of at least 8.0 in the Richter scale. March 28, 2005, 8.6 in the Richter scale, took place in the north of Sumatra, Indonesia. May 3rd, 2006, 8.0 in the Richter scale, took place in Tonga. November 15th, 2006, 8.3 in the Richter scale, took place in the Kuril Islands of Russia. January 13th, 2007, 8.1 in the Richter scale, took place in the west of the Kuril Islands of Russia. April 1st, 2007, 8.1 in the Richter scale, took place in the Solomon Islands. August 15th, 2007, 8.0 in the Richter scale, took place near the central shore of Peru. September 12, 2009, 8.4 in the Richter scale, took place in the south of Sumatra. September 29th, 2009, 8.1 in the Richter scale, took place in the Samoan Islands. February 27th, 2010, 8.8 in the Richter scale, took place in the Chilean shore, and hundreds of earthquakes, on the scale less than 8, shake all the countries. All this on the first 10 years of the 21st century. The angel of the element water appears with its apocalyptic power. This decade gave place to a lot of tsunamis. July 17th, 2006, a tsunami shakes the southwest of Indonesia and causes at least 600 deaths. April 2nd, 2007, a tsunami on the Solomon Islands. At least 5,000 people had to be evacuated. September 29th, 2009, a tsunami on the Samoan and Tonga Islands caused 192 deaths and hundreds missing. February 27th, 2010, a tsunami hits Chile leaving at least 500 deaths and 56 missing. The angel of the element, air, arises flapping its 10 wings, bringing strong tornadoes, hurricanes, gales, typhoons, and rains never seen by humans. Hurricane Genie, 2004. Hurricane Genie was a Category 3 hurricane that struck the Caribbean and the eastern United States in September 2004. It was the deadliest hurricane in the Atlantic basin since Mitch in 1998. Hurricane Genie swept through Haiti and the Dominican Republic, leaving hundreds of thousands in desperate need of food and clean water. In Haiti, over 1,000 deaths have been reported, and thousands more missing. Hurricane Stan, 2005. Hurricane Stan was the deadliest tropical cyclone of the 2005 Atlantic hurricane season, a relatively weak system that affected areas of Central America and Mexico in early October 2005. Stan was the 18th named storm and 11th hurricane of the 2005 season. It caused at least 800 deaths and 850 missing in Central America. Hurricane Felix, 2007. Hurricane Felix was an extremely powerful Category 5 Atlantic hurricane, which was the southernmost lone-falling Category 5 storm on record, surpassing Hurricane Edith of 1971. Its highest winds were of 175 miles per hour, or 280 kilometers per hour, leaving at least 189 deaths and 245,000 casualties in Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico. Hurricane Hannah, 2008. Hurricane Hannah was a moderately powerful but deadly tropical cyclone that caused extensive damage across the western Atlantic, with 529 fatalities confirmed, most of which were in the Go Knives area. The storm brought heavy rainfall and flooding throughout its path. Particularly hard hit was Haiti, as the ground was already saturated by Tropical Storm Faye and Hurricane Gustav. Hurricane Katrina, 2005. Hurricane Katrina was a devastating Category 5 Atlantic hurricane that resulted in 1,392 fatalities. Its highest winds were up to 175 miles per hour, or 280 kilometers per hour. The angel of the element fire arises as the fiery-edged sword, cutting the deeps of the volcanoes, emerging the fire that reaches great heights. The lava flows like a fire river, taking away everything in its path. Large volcanic eruptions occurred in the first decade of the 21st century in many countries. Congo, 2002, erupted in January of 2002, leaving hundreds of deaths. But since 1882, it has erupted at least 34 times. Indonesia, 2010. In late October 2010, Mount Merapi began an increasingly violent series of eruptions that continued into November. 353 people were killed during the eruptions, many as a result of pyroclastic flows. Salvador, 2005. The eruption in October leaves thousands of casualties. There were also fires in many countries, and temperatures of 40 to 50 Celsius in a lot of cities. The angel of the element air appears with all its power, giving all its power to the planetarian angels, with the earth expending all its seismic energy all around the globe, with the element water giving strength to the great rains that are increasingly stronger each time in the planet, with the element fire blowing with all its power, expanding the fire in thousands of hectares, leaving behind destruction. The same element air raises great sandstorms in the deserts, carrying around in its wings trillions of sand particles to all the continents. It's well attached to the vegetal kingdom, expanding the oxygen all around the planet that keep us alive in this outer piece of the world. This occurred in the first 10 years of the 21st century, when the four powers of nature stand upright like riders, riding all the continents. and increasing the intensity in the next years. The Earth keep its course in this 21st century, receiving charges of photonic energy from our sun, light radiation of the central sun of Pleiades, light from the central sun of the galaxy, and living light with transforming and resurrecting conscience originated from the central logo solar of the universe of Nevadon, from which appears and expands the power of the Trinitized Father's love to all the living creatures of his universe. These towering frequencies of light have reached our solar system, shaking its light in higher frequencies, producing gigantic tsunamis of photonic light that wanders on its surface, and expanding in solar explosions all this charge of trinitized frequency of light, covering all the planets of the solar system, producing changes in all of them, including our planet Earth and all the living beings in this world. And it is like this how we start to see whales, dolphins, and different type of fish of all sizes leaving the bottom of the ocean, getting out of the sea to die on the bay shores. Consequence of these electronic etheric energies of great frequencies that enter directly into our planet because the ozone layer has been destroyed by contamination of all kinds of chemicals, gases, and fossil fuels. As in the stratosphere, the shield of protection has become weak. These frequencies pierce without decreasing their potential. The mind of the human beings has also been receiving these frequencies of trinitized light, producing a subtle effect of awakening of conscience, making masses stand up against their governments, demanding for their rights to education, to decent job, to the health, to equality of gender, to the right of free expression of their ideals, and living a dignified life. Before the scandals of the hierarchs of the Catholic religion and other religions, and sexual abuse against minors, and corruption, millions of people in the world have noticed this awakening, that religion and politics brought us to a regrettable spiritual misery. Politics and religion are the owners of the multinationals of the world, needing huge fortunes that give them a status of power, creating an elite that manages the world at their will. But this awakening of a new trinitized conscience will allow the fall of the two powers, and humanity will be doomed to create a new reality with new leaders and spiritual guides to lead the planetarian humanity to conquer dignity once again, the true personality, the true love, the love for the existing things, the development of intelligence and will, and seek a new path, the new reality, and the new life that is. I am. This is how we recalled the most important occurrences of the first 10 years of the 21st century. This is how the most mentioned prophecy starts. Quotation mark. The end of the days. Quotation mark. That means the end of a time cell, where it stored the memory of the advancement program, rejection, and evolution of a civilization, living the best and the righteous, as the Bible says. The Earth starts its new process towards a planetarian luminic conscience, freeing itself from the quarantine in which it was, for many centuries, imposed by the Elder of the Days. The Earth synchronizes itself once again with the stellar hierarchies of the universe, and the presence of Michael, that on earth was called Jesus of Nazareth. Everything mentioned in the beginning of this presentation has been multiplied, taking us to the great tribulation that humanity lives, lacking the appearance of a powerful world leader called by the prophecy of the Antichrist, new deadly viruses, the Third World War in its fearsome weapon of horror, the nuclear bomb, and the fall of the enormous asteroid in the seas of the Antilles. If this happens, this planetarian cycle will be over for humanity. The governments of the world, the political and religious leaders will be gone. An era of peace has come for the living humanity, in which we'll be called true siblings, and true children of an only true God, the eternal, the nameless, and the timeless. This is how, cherished brothers from Earth, I've finished this presentation to be meditated in all of us. This video was originally recorded in Spanish by Carlos Enrique Sierra and voiced over by Zoom. May the Almighty resurrecting mental harmony be with us. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss any other video.